Alright guys, here we are with another Blu-ray DVD hunting video at the Goodwill. So let's get started. And as you can see, I am running into some really cool and rare stuff. Like this, Alien package here. The Alien Anthology Box Set on Blu-ray. So let's take a look at this. It's a really shiny case. And with the back there, you see it includes the 4 original Alien films, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. So let's take a look inside. All right, and as you can see here, it's sort of a booklet. And as I turn the pages, you see some nice pictures there, and it looks like each movie comes with its own sleeve and some more pictures. So you got Alien, Aliens, they mostly come out at night, mostly. Alien 3, there's Sigourney Weaver there, and Alien Resurrection with both Sigourney Weaver and Winona Ryder. So that's a very nice package there, including the first 4 Alien films and also a booklet. Too bad that this doesn't include the last 2 Alien films and even Prometheus, and then there was Prometheus, Alien Covenant, and the newest one, Alien Romulus, which I liked very much. But still a cool package there of the Alien Anthology. And as you can see there, it's only going for $3.99. That's a really good price in my opinion, and it looks really cool. So glad I ran into that. Next up, we're gonna look at the Twin Peaks Definitive Collection, Definitive Gold Box Collection Edition there. The original series from David Lynch. I did watch some of this on Netflix and I couldn't really, get into it, but this is considered a classic David Lynch. I think this is a great definitive Twin Peaks set, says David Lynch, including those special features there. Sights unseen and sounds unseen. So let's take a look inside this Twin Peaks definitive collection there, and it looks like a pretty simple design. Just each disc has its own sleeve there, some inserts, some booklets, and I thought this was pretty cool though. Greetings from Twin Peaks, the DVD postcards. So let's take a look inside, and they have these really nice postcards featuring the cast and the crew and some shots. That's a famous scene right there where that guy dances. So yeah, I've seen some of the Twin Peaks original series, and there was also like a remake series. Rest in peace to David Lynch, who just passed recently. So and once again, $4.99 for the original Twin Peaks series. Like I say, I have seen this on Netflix, but still pretty good deal there. Next up, we're going to look at the limited edition Alfred Hitchcock collection. Now, this is different from what I have at home. This is only including some films there. Going for $4.99, I mean, you can't really beat that. And as you see, it has a Rear Window, Vertigo, Psycho, North by Northwest, and The Birds. So definitely some good classic Hitchcock there. Vertigo, that's a really good one there. Took me a few tries to finally get into that one, but Vertigo is definitely one of my favorite Hitchcocks. Rear Window is a good one too. Psycho, of course, the classic. North by Northwest, it's okay. Yeah, not one of my favorites. And The Birds is an excellent one too, with Tippi Hedren there. A definitive Alfred Hitchcock limited edition set there. And also here is Led Zeppelin, The Song Remains the Same collector's edition. I got a few Led Zeppelin albums at home. Good classic rock music, Black Dog, and of course Dazed and Confused, one of my favorite movies of all time. That's one of their songs there. So as we take a look inside, you see stills from the concert. I'm guessing this is like a concert film, so one of those live editions. A really cool edition here. Some more postcards, some reviews there from newspaper clippings. It looks like it got some bad reviews. Dead Zeppelin. Here is the movie poster. The Song Remains the Same. I haven't seen this film, but I have listened to a bunch of Led Zeppelin music, so I have to catch up and do some research on that, but still a good addition for all you Led Zeppelin fans there. Next up is the Blade Runner Collector's Edition there. 3-disc set there, and that one has Harrison Ford, Sean Young, and even what's her name, Joanna Cassidy from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, going for $3.99 there, so that's definitely a good addition. I like this movie, but not maybe one of my favorites. And then there was the sequel with Ryan Gosling. I don't know if it's like hard for me to get into this one, or maybe I'm just not into that sci-fi so much, but still it's considered a classic film. There's some really cool inserts in this digibook here. Very nice shots, so a good addition, and it was a good price too, only going for $3.99. The 30th anniversary, so you see you got the final cut, the theatrical cut, and all sorts of good stuff there, so that's a good find for sure. And just to let you know, at this Goodwill, they always got the 50% off on the certain tags. Today is the orange tag, so you see mostly it's the green and the yellow, but maybe we'll find some stuff there. And here we got the Logan's Run snapper case there, another sci-fi film featuring Jenny Agutter from Child's Play 2 and American Werewolf in London. You got an audio commentary. I have seen this movie. I thought it was pretty good. Once again, sci-fi is not one of my favorite, but it's a cool 70s film there, and I like that original poster art. Can't go wrong with that. And you got the scene index. So a snapper case of Logan's Run here at the Goodwill. All right, and this is a pretty good find too. The Avengers, the original Avengers, with Emma Peel, going for $2.99 as well for a complete series set. I think it was a complete series there. The Ultimate 16 disc featuring all 51 episodes of Emma Peel. Oh, but I did notice this was like volume 2 because it says disc 9 through 16. So it looks like, we're missing a volume 1 or something like that. Still for $2.99, not too bad. And you remember that 90s film with Uma Thurman and Ray Fiennes of the Avengers. So this was way before the Marvel Avengers, this original British TV series of the Avengers here at the Goodwill. Also, here is Selena with J-Lo, Edward James Olmos, and Yolanda, I think, just got she was up for parole and they denied her. So she's staying in jail forever. $2.99 going there. That original, one of J-Lo's breakout hits, from the late 90s there, 97 or so. So Selena is always a good one. Selena. Here is also The Missing with Cate Blanchett and Tommy Lee Jones. Ugh, full screen edition. That's no good. Directed by Ron Howard there. I remember seeing this in the movie theater. I'll have to maybe rewatch this sometime. Haven't seen it in a while, can't remember it, but I do remember, the movie, watching it, just don't remember much about it. Who knows, maybe it wasn't that great of a movie. But here's a 2-disc edition there. Remember, always, do that little research there, that full screen edition, in my opinion. I know some people don't have a problem with it, but me, never, no full screen, widescreen all the way. Also, here's Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly and Debbie Reynolds, the greatest dancers of them all. So a good classic here, the MGM heyday of the 50s, featuring I'm Singing in the Rain. A good classic, good musical classic to watch here. So here is On the Waterfront with Marlon Brando. I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender. Another breakout Marlon Brando hit. But I do have that on the Criterion collection there. So that's a good classic Marlon Brando film. Also, here's Flags of Our Fathers. This is Clint Eastwood. I remember he made a double feature of this. This one was the first one, and that has Ryan Phillippe. And then the follow-up is Letters of Iwo Jima. I remember there's a scene in there where he's at a dinner, someone is pouring strawberry syrup all over the ice cream, and Ryan Phillippe starts getting flashbacks from the war. So here is The Rock, a Michael Bay classic, mid to late 90s film. With Nicolas Cage as well, Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. This one, it has the locked DVD case, which is always annoying because you have to flip open the lock to actually open it and look at it. But there's a regular case there, The Rock. I'm going to have to do some research on that film. I haven't watched it, can't really remember it. If I did watch it, those aren't my type of movies anyway. I thought this was a really good find, was this digipack, a Blu-ray of The Exorcist there, and it was going for a relatively low price too, of $2.99. I should have grabbed it, but it's just making one of those choices, Also, it includes the booklet of The Friedkin Connection there, So remember, William Friedkin directed The French Connection, so there's the Friedkin Connection that's going to talk about The Exorcist and give you some stills of from The Exorcist with Ellen Burstyn and Linda Blair and Max von Sydow and all that good stuff. Okay, here's Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman. This is a good one too, where he's twinkle toes and is it safe? Is it safe? So this one, along with like All the President's Men, are just like good films from the 70s, those suspense film from the 70s. Also, my favorite movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is one of the special editions before it was released to 4K, the 40th anniversary edition. I did notice that the cover, someone messed with the cover. That's what the front cover is supposed to look like. So I'm actually going to put it back correctly there. That's how it is supposed to be. I used to have that edition, but I actually gave it away. Now I have it on 4K. Here's a double feature of Village of the Damned and Children of the Damned, the original edition. I also love the remake from John Carpenter with Christopher Reeve and Kirstie Alley, and the original ones are pretty good too, you know. All right, here's Tom Cruise in All the Right Moves. And remember in Scream, Rose McGowan makes a reference about it. Oh, if you pause it just right, you could see his penis. So there is Tom Cruise in All the Right Moves. All right, so here's Empire of the Sun in a Snapper case. And you know, this was a film with Christian Bale when he was like a child actor. I've actually never seen Empire of the Sun, but I did notice it also came with the China Odyssey. So it comes with another documentary or a making of or something along those lines. So that's a pretty good find. Also, here's the Blu-ray for Taxi Driver going for $2.99. This is another one that I have on VHS. I got it on VHS as I was a kid, and I just never upgraded it to a DVD or a Blu-ray. But you see there's some stills with Harvey Keitel, Sybil Shepherd, Jodie Foster. There's Martin Scorsese there, who has that creepy taxi cab scene where they're watching someone in the window. Also some cool stills from that, and that's still wrapped up in sealed. So that's pretty cool there. I found a lot of really cool stuff at this Goodwill trip there. So that's a really good edition of Taxi Driver on Blu-ray. I forgot that guy's name who plays the Wizard. He's called the Wizard in that movie Taxi Driver, and he's in that 70s film Joe with Susan Sarandon. Good actor there. His name's not coming to me right now. Okay, so here's Evita with Madonna and Antonio Banderas. Remember that Don't Cry For Me Argentina? That was the hit of the late 90s there. Don't remember that film much, but I remember that song Don't Cry For Me Argentina was a big Madonna hit. And then here is Evita. I think it was based on a Broadway play or something along those lines. I don't know. But there's Madonna and Antonio Banderas and all those chapters there. Don't Cry For Me Argentina, chapter 17 it says there. Each one of those chapters is maybe a song, you know, it's a musical, so there you have it. All right, and we're just checking out some stuff. I don't know what this is, The Miniseries. I was looking, I was like, this looks like Anya Taylor-Joy, and I believe it is, just peeking through the credits here. There at the end there, it does say Anya Taylor-Joy. I thought she looked, you know, familiar, so I guess this is like a BBC show or something like that. Masterpiece Theater from PBS, not BBC, PBS, The Miniseries. The Mark of Zorro. I almost thought this was the Antonio Banderas, The Mask of Zorro, or whatever that film was called, but here's the ripoff version, The Mark of Zorro. Also, The Blessing of the Lord. There's always some good religious stuff, you know, if you are into that stuff, or if you are looking good enough, you'll always see those family-friendly and religious films there. Also, for all you baseball enthusiasts, is The Natural with Robert Redford. And also, who was in this? I was trying to look in the back there. Kim Basinger is in this too. And also Glenn Close, it looks like they're on the right, and then Kim Basinger is on the left there. She plays, I guess, I'm not familiar with this movie too much, but I know this is considered one of the best baseball films, is The Natural. And The Abyss, this is actually a pretty rare thing to find, is The Abyss on DVD. I don't think they ever released this to Blu-ray or 4K. I mean, maybe they have by now, but you know, that's a pretty controversial thing, how The Abyss was never upgraded to Blu-ray or 4K, one of James Cameron's films there. Also, who's in that? Ed Harris. That's right, and you know, and it's almost a nearly 3-hour film at 171 minutes. So there is the special edition of The Abyss that, water suspense film. I'm not too familiar with it. I may have seen it once. Not one of my favorites since I can't remember too much about it. There's Funny Face, Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire, another one of those classics from, I don't know, the late 50s or the early 60s. Audrey Hepburn from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, from the old time days. So there is a standard DVD of Funny Face. All right, and then here we're gonna go with Milk with Sean Penn, and this had rave reviews. I remember, Sean Penn's brilliant performance of, I guess he was like a mayor in San Francisco, the first openly gay mayor, something along those lines. So I saw that back in the day, didn't think much of it. And this was a good find. It was Nosferatu with Klaus Kinski and Isabella Adjani. And also Salem's Lot, the Stephen King TV film. He looks like Nosferatu there, right? The Salem's Lot guy, the Salem's Lot vampire. Remember, there's also a sequel to Salem's Lot. Not too good, but the original one is pretty good, and it's really long too. It's like 3 hours since it's a TV miniseries, like Stephen King's It, so it's almost like in 2 parts and things like that. Those were recently on HBO Max, and I got to catch up with it. Here's some Vincent Price stuff, the double feature of House of Usher and The Pit and the Pendulum. I actually have one of these Midnight Classics double features of Deranged and Motel Hell. So here's another one with those Vincent Price classic films there, House of Usher and Pit and the Pendulum. Oh, and here's Starman, the John Carpenter film with what did it say there? Jeff Bridges. So, not one of my favorites. I can't really remember it. Once again, I may have seen that once, so I know that's a John Carpenter film. And also here is The Adventures of Indiana Jones, the complete DVD collection. So look at this really nice DVD set featuring the first 3 films: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. My personal favorite is always Temple of Doom. I love that one. And $4.99, not bad for this really nice box set there. And here is the Flubber double feature, The Absent-Minded Professor and Son of Flubber. Remember the Flubber remake in the 90s with Robin Williams. All right, so here is Ronin with Robert De Niro, another great one. And that also has that guy from The Professional, Gene something, really cool car chase in that film there. That's what it's mostly known for. No Country for Old Men from the Coen brothers with Javier Bardem. That's a good one. It took me a minute to actually get into that and appreciate it, but I always said it was like a horror movie, No Country for Old Men. Wild Hogs with John Travolta, Martin Lawrence, Tim Allen, and William H. Macy is in that too. I thought that was pretty funny. I've actually never seen this movie, but I thought it was pretty cool just to run into that. Also with a slipcover there, good find. Oh, and here is An Unfinished Life. I thought this was interesting. One of those forgettable indie movies, and also has Robert Redford and Jennifer Lopez. Actually, never really heard of this movie, so it must have been one of those indie movies, maybe when J-Lo was trying to take herself seriously as an actress. Here's Demolition Man, Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes, and Sandra Bullock is in that too. I also remember Everyone Eats Taco Bell in that movie too, right? I thought this was interesting, The United States of Terror. I'm looking at that cover and I'm like, why does everyone look like Toni Collette? I don't know what this show is about, but that is Toni Collette playing different characters on the front cover there. All right, another double feature there, a Sherlock Holmes double feature. So Sherlock Holmes in Washington, Sherlock Holmes Faces Death. So for all you Sherlock Holmes fans, check that out. And it looks like we got some Blu-rays here. Let's check out some of the Blu-rays. Pain and Gain. This is a true story, and I heard it's actually like kind of like a sick story, so I'll have to touch base with that, look out for it. Also, Liam Neeson in the Taken. Speaking of Liam Neeson, I just saw the trailer or some clips from the Naked Gun remake. I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I love the original Naked Gun series with Leslie Nielsen. So it's kind of interesting that Liam Neeson is taking over for the role of Frank Drebin. Here's Gods and Generals, the extended director's cut. And this is another one where it's like a really long film. I was looking in the back there and it looked like it was at 200 minutes or something like that. Once again, I've never seen this, but I know it's one of those epic war films. One of the most remarkable films of the decade, it said there. The Walking Dead, the complete second season on Blu-ray. Me, personally, not a Walking Dead fan. Don't really care for it too much. but a good find here at the Goodwill. And also is the Dark Knight trilogy. I may have run into this in previous Goodwill videos that I have done in the past, but this is also a good find featuring Batman Begins and the 2 Dark Knight films. So as you can see, it comes with the art and the making of the Dark Knight trilogy. So you're gonna see all the cool inserts and still photos and all that cool stuff, that behind the scenes stuff from the making of the film. Not one of my favorites. I'm definitely a Batman Returns, Michael Keaton kind of guy, but these films are good too, and they did the damn thing. The Dark Knight was really good. Not the Dark Knight Rises, that one was whack, but the Dark Knight was a good one, like when Heath Ledger pushes that guy's head down on the pencil. That was really cool scene there. So that's a good find. Here's Das Boot. Another one of these war films that I've never seen, but it's considered a classic. So, you know, maybe one day I gotta catch up with all my war films there. So there's Das Boot, the director's cut. Oh, I always love this show as time goes by. This is a BBC show with Judi Dench there. So I would love to, you know, maybe catch up on this show one day. I love that British humor there. So that's a good one as time goes by. And then here's Escape from New York with Kurt Russell, another John Carpenter film. This one I actually do like. Remember, there's a sequel also, Escape from Los Angeles, but the first one, Escape from New York, is a good one. This is a good one too, is Stanley Kubrick's Lolita. I know that Shelley Winters is in this movie, so I have seen that movie. Controversial topic where it's like a young girl and an older man. I mean, I think that's what it's about, based on a book or something like that. So another Stanley Kubrick classic there. Rest in peace to Val Kilmer, man. Here he is in Tombstone, where you know he famously plays Doc Holliday. LA Confidential, another sort of forgotten movie from the late 90s. This one got all the rave and hype, and now no one really talks about it. I think Kim Basinger won the Oscar or the Golden Globe or something. Shadowlands, I was gonna say Howard's End or something like that. And it looked like this is a Japanese or Chinese edition. I did see some like Asian symbols there, so that's interesting. Don't really know too much about Shadowlands, but that was a good find. And also, I thought this was kind of bootleg, was the Once Upon a Time in Mexico, one of the Robert Rodriguez films. I think this is one of the sequels to Desperado and El Mariachi, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. But upon further investigation, when I looked at it, it looked like a regular disc and insert there. So I don't know what was up with the cover, why it looked bootleg to me. It just was missing. I thought it looked like it was missing something. But I guess that's the regular standard edition there, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Also, El Chavo del Ocho. So I guess this is the animated version, which I didn't even know that they had that. So you know that's a famous Spanish skit there, or TV show. Also, the Steven Spielberg classic Schindler's List. I guess that was a 30th anniversary edition. Another one with Liam Neeson, and I think Ray Fiennes is in that one too. So, of course, that's a very important film to watch. Also, The Postman, Kevin Costner. I would love to see this movie. I actually never seen it. $2.99 there. I think that's a very good find. And also, it comes with a snap case. What I remember most about this film is that Simpsons episode where they're doing the commentary to The Postman, and Kevin Costner's like, oh, God. Oh, no. What have I done? Oh, my God. So, I just think this is a really good find, and I'd love to watch it there, because Kevin Costner takes risks with his films, just like this last film he did. I can't even freaking remember the name of it, of that Western film where it's supposedly 4 parts. Here's Turner and Hooch with Tom Hanks, another late 80s film there. You know, the dog, I don't know, what is he, a cop or something like that? Oh, here's The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke, and Marissa Tomei is in that. And I remember that getting a lot of hype and praise. Not a lot of good news coming out about Mickey Rourke lately. But also here is Breaker with Chuck Norris. Never heard of that one, Breaker. All right, here's I Dream of Jeannie, the complete first season. I was just talking about this with my coworker and how this takes place in Cape Canaveral, Florida. I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched, you know, remember those classic 60s shows. Oh man, Interview with the Vampire. I love this one. I do have this on VHS, once again, never upgraded, but I did notice this came with a commentary. So I would love to listen to that commentary with Neil Jordan, who directed The Crying Game. I love Interview with the Vampire. Remember Mortal Woman on stage when she's like, I don't want to die, and they like get her all completely naked. That's like my favorite part, right? I know, it was always my favorite part as a kid, and it's my favorite part now. Also, here's Three Amigos. Never seen this, and I just remember my cousin always loving this movie. Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short. Another 80s classic there. Maybe one day I'll have to catch up with Three Amigos. But there it is, all right? And here's another Indiana Jones, The Complete Adventures. I think this was like the Blu-ray version. So you can see it's much slimmer, much sleeker, but that DVD version was like pretty cool, you know? Oh, this is almost like the Alien where it each gets its own section there. This is really nice too. Like I always say, man, Temple of Doom is my favorite. Oh, this one includes the Crystal Skull with Shia LaBeouf. So that's an extra special feature there. It's just too bad, like I was mentioning before, it doesn't come with the Young Indie Chronicles, which I believe is on Disney+. Here's Alita, the first 4K I found, Alita Battle Angel, and it's going for $2.99 for a used 4K or whatever the case may be. Not a bad find there. And a 3D Blu-ray as well. Never seen that film. And hey, it comes with a digital code. Hopefully no one redeemed it. But there is a 2-disc, or at least just one 4K. I don't even know if that's a 4K. Maybe it's behind the insert there. Of Alita Battle Angel, and with the Blu-ray, 3D Blu-ray. Okay, there's the disc, the 4K disc. And it comes with some merchandise if you want to look at all that merchandise, Funko Pops and action figures and all this stuff you don't need. But hey, it's a pretty cool find there for $2.99, all that stuff. On the cusp of Adrian Brody's Oscar win, second Oscar win. I believe he won the Oscar for this one, The Pianist, way back when. And it's sealed. And I found it here at the Goodwill. This one I've never seen, but remember when he won the Oscar here, he famously kissed Halle Berry, and then they kind of redid the kiss at this year's past Oscars. So there is Adrian Brody in The Pianist. Oh, this is Spinal Tap. I heard they're going to make a sequel to this one, and I'm always mentioning that this one has a really good scene with Fran Drescher. She plays like an agent or something, and she has a very small scene, but it's like something that has stayed with me because I just find it so funny. So this one, remember, is Christopher Guest, who did the For Your Consideration, and this movie was directed by Rob Reiner. So Christopher Guest always does those satirical type of films. So remember, this is the movie about that fake band, you know, Turn It Up to 11. So this one is a very good one to watch if you like music, if you like classic rock, and if you like funny films, satirical funny films. You gotta watch this as Spinal Tap. It's must-see viewing. And then here's Prometheus. Remember, we were just checking out the Alien Anthology and talking about the new Alien film. Here's John Carpenter's The Thing with Kurt Russell. This is a very good one from the 80s, you know, better than the 50s version. Then they remade another one with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And this is a really good find too, is the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers in this New Line Platinum Series Special Edition DVD, you know, from the golden age of DVDs in the mid to late 90s. So let's take a look at this beast, the appendices. You know, I kind of remember all this stuff. The Two Towers is the second film in the, you know, trilogy there. You know, it looks like it comes with 4 discs. I guess they had to split the film on 2 discs. I don't know if they have the extended edition, part 3, The Journey Continues, then the appendices, its own disc. Then you have these inserts there featuring like maps and how to access the DVDs or how to access the special features. Oh yeah, so they did split the film like across 2 discs, I guess, because they're like 3-hour films. So once again, this is just a really cool thing to find. This 4-disc Two Towers special edition, the New Line Platinum series. Okay, and now we're going to check out the first one, The Fellowship of the King. It's too bad they don't have the third one, The Return of the King, which won the Academy Award. But once again, it's the same thing, featuring the appendices, the I guess the extended edition of the films, and you know, the maps of how to access the DVD and what you want to access first, what leads to where. So as you can see, that the motion picture trilogy of The Lord of the Rings, featuring, you know, Elijah Wood, my favorite. So there you got all that good stuff on you know, what to do. Very overwhelming, but still very cool to find here at the Goodwill. Yeah, the extended editions, I guess that's why they split it up. And this is how you access the main menus and what you want to do first and how you get to where for this special edition of The Lord of the Rings. So whoever came up with this idea, obviously they showed a lot of care into this special edition, which they just don't do that anymore. You know, so if you find something like this and you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings, obviously you should add it to your collection. Even if you never use it or you never watch it and it just sits up on the shelf, it's definitely a good shelf piece to have there. Oh, and here we go, my favorite, John Carpenter's Halloween. We've seen a lot of John Carpenter stuff today, but I actually have this limited edition at home, and I guess this is more of a standard edition. And the best bits of Mr. Bean with Rowan Atkinson, another classic British show there. Here's a double feature of Annie, which I didn't even know they made a sequel to Annie, A Royal Adventure. So I don't know if that was like a made-for-TV movie, if it's even connected to that original 80s movie, but they paired it together in that DVD. They got to make a triple feature with Black Annie. All right, so here's Bewitched. Remember, we were talking about I Dream of Jeannie. Here's Bewitched. Remember, they made a movie with Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell. So what do you guys think? Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie? Which one is your favorite? All right, so Deliverance, my favorite, with Burt Reynolds and Jon Voight. Squeal Like a Pig. That one's a good one right there. Another Stanley Kubrick film, Barry Lyndon, which I've never seen, but I heard the cinematography is awesome. Another Halloween edition, and this is one of those digi books or digi cases where when you open it up, it actually has a book there, the original poster on the left, and you can flip through the pages and get some behind the scenes stuff. Just some more stuff for all you collectors there. There's John Carpenter as a young 30-year-old man directing Halloween. Here is The Producers with, what's his name? Mel Brooks. And remember, they remade that with like Nathan Lane. Isn't this like a Nazi movie? I was trying to look back there. They run away from the Nazis or something like that. Isn't that what that movie is about? So here is Phantasm. This was a pretty cool edition that I saw. Phantasm may not be one of my favorite movies, but as you could see there, it said one of the most beloved horror movies of its era, which is the late 70s, early 80s, and that one has that ball with the spikes. But a cool edition with a slipcover, and then The Howling with Dee Wallace. Remember, this is that Scream Factory edition without the slipcover. And one of the things I remember most about this movie is that opening scene in the adult theater. I was just like, man, this is kind of so awkward. It's a horror movie, And then here is a Band of Brothers, the Steven Spielberg series for $4.99 there in this massive tin. The War miniseries from HBO. I did open this up to take a look at it, and it is pretty massive and extended. Comes with, 6 discs there, and they're all located inside as I try to take this apart. So as you could see, really cool pictures there, stills there, and then it's a fold out thing. Okay, the discs are on the opposite side. So really detailed edition there in that tin is Band of Brothers. Alright guys, that does it for this edition of the Goodwill Blu-ray DVD hunting video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you found at your Goodwill. Go ahead, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, tap that notification bell, and comment down below. And I will see you next time.